In the previous video, we saw how process mining capabilities within SAP Business Process Intelligence could be used to discover a bottleneck in sales order processes. We then highlighted how this process could be streamlined using SAP Intelligent RPA. Now let's look at how, as a business user, we can use Intelligent RPA to further optimize our sales order processes. For this, I'll show how to use the product to automate the creation of sales orders that are obtained from a variety of data sources. Using the Cloud Studio's process recorder, I'm able to capture my daily work. I start by selecting my application, and in this case my sales order processing UI, and then clicking record. This then records my target application, giving me access to the recorder widget, which in turn allows me to control the steps I capture, and I then use this to enter and record a sample sales order. This includes adding the sales organization, the distribution channel, the division, and in turn this opens the Create Standard Order page. From there, I can then enter further details such as the sold to and shipped to parties, plus then move on to the sales order line items. These are all the steps that I would previously manually enter, and they're all being captured with the recorder widget here. Once I'm ready, I can now click Save. The recording can then be paused and exported, saving the steps I've just shown. What's important to note here is that even though the recording happens in the UI, what's recorded is the interaction the UI layer makes with the backend. And as we're recording SAP software here, we're familiar with our interface standards and are not dependent on the UI layer for playback. And this allows us to offer bots with unprecedented resilience to change and increased stability. Now, once the recording is finished, I'm able to look at the output. One major advantage here is that the recording step creates a fully fledged automation project for me, one I can view and edit each step of the way. As you can see, all the artifacts associated with a standard automation, like applications, screen captures, elements, etc., are all produced directly from that recording. I can also take advantage of the numbered sequencing, showing exactly when I clicked buttons and any keystrokes I've made along the way. I can then drill down into individual applications, allowing me to review the captured screens and the data fields I've entered. These are all captured as declared elements, and I can run through each one to ensure that the automation is correct. And to really ensure that all the flow is correct, I can directly test the automation right away. I select the local environment and then run it, and the whole process is replayed back to me, giving me confidence that it can run independently. So, with the help of SAP Intelligent RPA's deep integration with SAP's UI technology, I have recorded my sales order creation process and created a fully fledged automation within minutes. In the previous demo, we used SAP Intelligent RPA's UI recorder to capture an example sales order creation process. Now, let's use the product to show you how you can automate the capture of different data sources, such as from a Microsoft Excel file. Before doing that though, we know that the time it takes to capture such information is critical for all automation projects. As such, we wanted to offer a number of points for people to consider. First, it's important for an organization to consider an order creation bot as something that can be deployed as a standard self-contained bot. From there, different input data channels can be plugged into the downstream process of the order creation. To allow for this, parameterizing the data input and standardization of that must be possible. Secondly, the sophistication level of the tool should be as visual and gamified as possible. This makes it user-friendly for citizen developers or, as an example, a departmental IT team who is repurposing themselves as an automation center of excellence. Thirdly, the tool used should support from the business user through to a citizen developer, then into a developer, and of course into the IT administrator. This ensures a seamless collaboration from bot creation to running it in production. And lastly, we think there should be a way to make bots as a reusable asset and for them to be discoverable by other groups in the information. Now the good news is that these are all possible with using SAP Intelligent RPA. If we go to the product now, we're back to our sales order creation automation again. However, the previous automation hard-coded input values into the process. What we need to do now is replace these with values from an Excel file. So I'll open the Excel sheet here, and you can see the header item fields and line item fields that we need to enter to create our sales order. So we have the distribution channel here, and then if we look into the item details sheets, we can see a number of other necessary columns here. So what we need to do is to create an automation that will decouple this data for us and make sure that it can be read as a multi-sheet file like this one. And taking advantage of the product's rich activity support for Excel processing, you can see how I can now simply drag and drop an Excel file to create a direct mapping. By doing this, the target data types and variables are automatically created by the automation. And from there, the mapping between the Excel sheet and the automation variable can also be achieved with a drag and relate action. Next, a dynamic input path can be specified in the automation. With this, the XLS reading automation outputs the standardized header and item list variables, which are also populated by the XLS activities. Now, within the Excel reading capability on one side and the sales order creation capability on the other side, let's see how we can tie this all together. So this is the wrapper automation that are assembled to stitch the end-to-end process flow together. As you can see here, the automation project already has the interface data type that can be used to move data from any data source to the sales order creation bot. Additionally, all automations we've previously seen are added as dependencies to this wrapped automation. This includes all applications, screens, and data type artifacts. Now from there, SAP Intelligent RPA offers a store where customers can take advantage of industry best practice in the form of packaged bots. In the store, customers can search for predefined processes or transactions, and they can take a more detailed look at the packages where necessary. As you can see here, the store packages contain reusable assets, allowing the customer to plug them into the automation projects. For example, to log into an SAP system, we have a reusable capability included. In addition, the store packages contain additional metadata attributes, including information about which line of the business and industry that particular package could be relevant for. Now, one of the key issues that automation projects routinely face is the variability of processes. To help with this, our store bots allow our customers to standardize their process while also selecting variables relevant for their individual process as they go. Anyway, coming back to our wrapper automation, you can now see that by combining the in-house built recording and the Excel reading automations, you can quickly and efficiently build an end-to-end automation using SAP predefined content. Additionally, Intelligent RPA offers visual drag and drop features for error handling capabilities. With these, a citizen developer can specify what should happen when a technical error or business exception occurs, and then how the automation should react to it. Now, all the dependent automations that constitute the end-to-end process flow have well-defined data interfaces to exchange information. In this case, we have the sales order header and item information that we need to pass from the Excel read scenario to the recorded scenario. These data types are part of the pre-delivered store content, meaning that customers can trust that they have the right data interfaces and have then no need to duplicate them. So now we've configured our end-to-end automation, it's time to test it. To do that, we select the environment, allowing us to allocate the virtual machines that will run this bot. Then, once we've triggered the test, the sample Excel file is opened and the data items are read. This data is then sent to the interfaces and then passed to the sales order creation scenario that we previously recorded. The automation then proceeds to the SAP backend for the data entry. As you can see, what gets added here is the updated data from the Excel file instead of the previously hard-coded values we had. Now once we're back to the automation, this now shows our powerful debugger feature. The left panel shows the whole execution sequence, and if we click on any item, the data trace of that step is also displayed. As an example, you can see here the Excel data that was read is transformed into the standard data type that we had and shown as the input recorded automation. So with that, our business user can create an automation that is able to decouple data from any source, standardize this using pre-delivered packages, create process variant flows and error handling, and then finally test it all in production grade conditions. And now all that's left is to deploy this to production.